Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be talking about the value of customer communication. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Hi, good morning, Chad. We talk in these videos every day about marketing tactics and bringing more traffic to your website and then getting more business. But the reality is it costs anywhere from 5 to 10 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to retain an existing one. That's a really serious fact, and I'm glad we're spending some time today on customer service. Let's dive into this a little bit. Here are a couple of interesting openers. Companies only hear from about 4% of customers that are dissatisfied. So the reality is you don't have tons of communication coming inbound, and the communication you're getting is probably the very irate people. It's important to reach out to your customers on a regular basis so that you can hear from the full spectrum, including some of the good, although you'll mostly hear bad. You need to be prepared for that because people generally want to talk to you when things are not going well. Here's some interesting stats from Right Now Technologies Customer Experience Impact Report and the Amex Global Customer Service Barometer, both good sources for this kind of data. 86% of consumers have stopped doing business with a company due to a poor customer service experience. So, most of us have had this experience being a consumer and being disgusted with some sort of bad interaction and said, I'm not doing business with them again. 9 out of 10 will start doing business then with a competitor after they've had a poor customer service experience. Now, it doesn't mean that one bad experience and it's over. Half of consumers will give company up to 1 week or 1 full week to respond before they'll cut off ties. And that's very interesting because 57% of consumers who did receive a response back from a company after some negative interaction were actually able to rectify and feel positive, although 22% were not. So you can move the needle, and I think there's some interesting nuggets in here about it's not that things won't go wrong, it's just customer service is in how you react to it and then how you can move that customer to a better place thereafter.
Yeah, definitely. And I think part of what we talk about, the way to deliver great customer service and deliver a great customer experience. And in most cases, that starts in the sales process. You want to make sure that you're setting clear expectations up front, that everything is written down, and that you, of course, respond in a timely manner. So starting really with the expectations in the sales process is something that you have to do, whether you're in online marketing like us or whether you're providing, any number of other services out there. Once you get the sale and you have that customer, again, you've gone through the expense of getting that customer, you really do want to have a system in place in your company for making sure that you respond to any type of customer service issue or any other type of deliverable in a timely way. So again, you might want to have a ticketing system. There's a lot of different products out there. You could just use email. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes things slip through the crack with emails. We, of course, like more of a ticket-based system, but making sure that you have a system and that you use it consistently, because it's far too easy to go out and find 5 or 10 tools that do it. There's a million of them out there, but rather than always searching for the better new tool, get one system and stick with it, because your whole company needs to be able to follow that process. Once you have that in place, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it's really easy to really get focused on the technology, Chad, and not really drive the culture around what needs to happen, which is each of these tickets now coming in. The reason we have a ticketing system is so we know there's a customer behind every ticket, and we have to be accountable to resolving those. Each one is an opportunity to help a customer through and move them from the 80-something% that might leave you after a bad interaction to getting that down to 22% if you can have a good follow-up, timely follow-up. And I think some of this, the open question here is that, okay, if I have my ticketing system and I have people in my company believing customer service is important, there's still a little bit of ambiguity around, well, what does that customer really want? What is it they're looking for? And again, I think we can draw here from the Customer Experience Impact Report and some of the stats to help formulate that strategy. 73% responded, what I'm looking for is a friendly employee or a customer service rep. They're just looking for a friendly interaction. They don't want to be preached to. They don't want to be told no. Even if the answer is no, they want to be told in a constructive way with some rationale behind it. And they definitely don't want someone who's curt or is kind of mean to them. And we've all seen sometimes you can have a bombastic interaction. It doesn't mean that the customer is okay to abuse the customer service rep. I think there's ethics on both sides of this. But 73% are looking for friendly. The next one up is 55% are looking to easily find the information or the help they need. And it's interesting to me that that's actually behind friendly. But I think, Chad, we talk about this all the time. It's like, so if you're working with your customer service team, empathy first, because empathy communicates friendliness and sincere interest and care. But behind that, you get pretty far with that, because you can satisfy 73% here who responded. But behind that, though, you really have to solve the problem, right? Because if you're not, they just feel like you're a friendly voice to, shoulder to cry on, but they haven't solved the problem.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is a very frustrating experience to have. Now, one other thing that we definitely want to include in your customer service process is finding opportunities to be proactive instead of reactive. So if you're only waiting for the phone to ring, then what's happening is you're probably letting there's an opportunity there for your customer to get frustrated before they call you in. So being proactive is really important in good customer service. Some examples of that are doing things like, if you're in a services business, having a monthly account review meeting where you sit down and you go through the numbers and you talk about the metrics, because what you're able to do is you're actually establishing the metrics and the things that customers should be looking at so that they're focused on the same things that you're working on, rather than letting them get confused and go off on a tangent on something that's not that important. And then, of course, also finding maybe ways that are not a direct person calling, but just other ways to communicate with your customer throughout the month or the quarter. Things like definitely having a monthly newsletter that is just telling them about what's going on in your business, what's going on in the industry, because that does two things. One is it does, again, give them some current news to let them know that you're on top of the trends. But the other thing it does is it also is just putting an impression in their inbox that, hey, this company is looking out for me and working hard on my behalf.
Yeah, and you've touched on some philosophies that are near and dear to my heart there, Chad. One of them is that things go wrong in business, and anyone who believes that a relationship will be 100% positive all the time is probably not being realistic. And anyone who's been around the block knows there are problems. That's just how business goes. So, but what these data support is the idea that how you react to those problems is key. So it's not that things won't go wrong. Don't go in expecting they won't, but try to minimize them, of course. But when they do, if you've got a strong customer service team that can react quickly, can be friendly, can hear the client when they don't feel good about it, and then can solve their problem with information or other resources to get them where they need to be, you can recover, and you can keep that customer, which again is 5 to 10 times more expensive to acquire a new client to replace them than it is to keep them. So it's worth the effort. We certainly would like to hear your thoughts, particularly in the internet marketing space, where customer service can be particularly complicated due to some of the vagaries and the newness of the industry. Share those with us in the comments, and please subscribe to our videos.